Right now we're going to do learning target 3 and learning target 5. Learning target 3 is graph an equation in the slope-intercept form, and learning target 5 is graph vertical and horizontal lines. We'll also do learning target 5 with learning target 4. So our slope-intercept form is like the most common one that you will find. It's what we're used to dealing with, and it tells you exactly what we're dealing with. We're dealing with our slope and our intercept. So here's my slope. Remember, my m is my slope, so this right here is my slope. That's my rise over run. It's my change in y over my change in x. And this b, and I'm including that sign, is my y-intercept. So like if I have a graph, and here's my point on that y, that's going to be my b. So if it's down here, that's a minus. So it would be y equals mx minus something. So that's why I'm going to keep that there. And then my slope, it's whatever I do. I go up 2 over 3, or I go down 2 over 1. My special cases would be these vertical and horizontal lines. So if I have a graph, I'm going to graph them all. Just say I have y equals negative 2. There's no x here. It's just y equals negative 2. Which means I don't have anything to give me a slope. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to graph that point. So let me just make a little graph first. So I'm going to graph the point where y is negative 2, and y is negative 2 right here. And if I don't know where else to go, I can make points. I can make coordinate points. And I always want my y to be negative 2, so that's going to be my second point right here, because it goes x comma y in a coordinate point. So I'm just going to pick random values. I'm going to pick 3 and then a negative 1. So if I graph 3 comma negative 2, so I go over 3, 1, 2, 3, and I go down 2, 1, 2. I'm going to graph negative 1 down 2. It's just your straight line. It's just a horizontal line, and that's going to be where your slope, no, that's going to be where your slope is 0. Oh, it's not working. It's supposed to be an arrow, I thought. No. All right, so I'm just going to do this. So it's going to be a straight line. So then if I have x equals 5, my x is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. And again, I can write some points where my x is always going to be 5. Maybe at 5 and 3 and 5 and negative 2. So if I go 5 and then 3, I'm right up here. If I go 5 and negative 2, I'm right down here. And that would be this one. So I'm going to write up here that this is my x equals 5 line, and this is my y equals negative 2 line. So that way I know. So whenever I have an x equals something, it's going to be a line in my up and down direction. It's the opposite, because that's where all of my x equals that number. But look here, every single dot on this line, even though it's not straight, it should be, every single dot on that line would be 5. Every single dot on this line would be y equals negative 2. So when I have a y equals a number, that should somehow be a horizontal line. So now I'm going to graph. I'm going to graph these. I'm going to always start with my y-intercept. Oops, that's not a highlighter. Let's undo what I just did. And let's go to highlighter. That would help, right? So I'm going to always start with my y-intercept, and this says a plus. And it says a plus. So I'm going to go here at my origin. I'm going to go up 2 on my y, because it's a positive 2. All I need you to do is graph 3 points. That's how I'm going to know. So now I'm using my slope. It tells me to go rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. If I wanted to go the opposite way, I can do it in the exact opposite direction. Instead of going up 1, I would go down 1. Instead of going right 2, I would go left 2. So I would go down 1, back 2. Down 1, back 2. Let's see if I can get this line thingy to work. No. That's not it. What is this? Nope. All right, I'm just going to draw my own line. It's not going to be that pretty. I don't have a straight edge. You draw a line and connect all of these. And since we're doing them all in one graph, I'm going to mark up here that this was y1. So now I look over here at y2. y2 equals 3x minus 4. So I'm going to start with that minus 4. That minus tells me to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plot my point. I'm used to it being rise over run, so I can just put this over 1. 3 divided by 1 is still 3. So that tells me that I need to go up 3. 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Up 3 and over 1. Or in the opposite direction, I can go down 3 and back 1. So then I'm going to very badly draw a line. I put arrows on the end because my line goes on forever and ever and ever, which means I have a lot of answers. And there's my y2. y3, I have a plus 5, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This tells me negative 3 fourths. That means I have a negative slope. It can be so right now I drew my negative at the top, but it could also be a 3 over a negative 4. So if I'm doing this one, negative 3 over 4, that means I'm going down 3, 1, 2, 3, but to the right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it would be like right here. This way, 3 over negative 4 means I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and I go backwards 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can always double check. There's a negative out front, so this should be a negative slope, which means it should be pointing down. Just like Slope Dude said, it would be a nice negative. So this negative just means only one of them you're moving in the negative direction. Over here, I don't have a plus anything. I just have my, if I'm looking at y equals mx plus b, I don't even have a plus b. So that would be the same as writing plus 0, but we don't write that. So when I don't have anything, it's the same as 0. So that means I can just start at the origin. And then I make this into my fraction by putting it over 1. And then I'm going to go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and positive 1. So in the backwards direction, I'll go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the left 1. So then my line would be like this. That's a very bad line. That's a really bad line. y4, I forgot to mark that. This one was y3. Please use a straight edge. Don't pull a Miss A. Miss Aaron is not very good right now. And then y5 is y equals 6. That's one of our special cases. There's no x. So that's where I'm going to plot. Where is y6? Right up here. I also know that y is still 6 here, and here, and here, and here, and here. It's just that straight line. And that's my y6 line. So the first thing you always do is you always look for your y-intercept, plot that, and then you use your slope. The top one is your rise, the bottom one is your run. So before class, you're going to create 4 equations. Try and do different things. Challenge yourself with negatives, fractions. So you're going to write your 4 equations here. So like y1, y2, y3, y4. You're going to graph your 4 here. Excuse me. Do not graph here because when you get into class, we're going to end up graphing someone else's equation. So leave this one blank. You're only graphing yours on here. So remember, try and make them challenging because someone else is going to graph yours. Make it difficult.